Yo, what's going on YouTube? My name is SAIYAN, and today we are here with the Dragon Ball Super episode 104 review, and today, pretty much, I guess I'm gonna try to structure this a little bit different. I'm sorry about last week's review because I was really tired when I was recording that, and I mean really tired. It was like 3 a.m. in the morning when I was recording that because I had gone out with a few friends, and we had sort of, what do you call it? Oh yeah, we had helped with my friend's move, and yeah. But anyways, guys, if you're excited to hear my opinions and thoughts of this week's episode, hit the like button in the face, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. But anyways, on to it. There's not going to be an intro that I'm not going to put my usual intro in my reviews because I just feel like I kind of just want to talk straight through it, and I mean, there is editing to it, but I mean, reviews are pretty simple and straightforward. So pretty much, this episode was pretty much Goku and Hit versus Dispo, and I believe the blue small guy from Universe, not the like tiny guy, but like the gold, I guess like the Goldo guy, sort of like the Goldo height guy of Universe 11 of the Pride Troopers. Kunchi, yeah, so pretty much it's their fight. It's the fight between Hit, Goku, Kunchi, and Dispo, and I actually really did enjoy this fight because it showed some development towards Hit, and it kind of showed us like the skill that like a lot of skills that like Goku has been like developing, and like we get to see how we kind of get a little bit more insight on Hit's Tokidabashi, time skip, whatever the heck you want to call it. And yeah, so pretty much how the episode starts off is that Hit is fighting against Dispo. Caulifla and Kale are actually hiding in the background, trying to recover from all their injuries that they've gotten throughout the entire fight, because I mean, they just finished off other Universe 11 people, and now even more Universe 11 people have come to sort of like take Hit out. And pretty much the way that they were thinking is that if they take out Hit, the rest of Universe 6 should be able to fall that easily, because the fact that Hit is sort of like the he's the captain, he's the backbone of Universe 6. So they were just thinking like, hey, why not go for the head honcho? And pretty much Hit and Dispo fight. Hit is trying to use a time skip, but the thing is Dispo is actually able to pretty much he's actually faster than Hit. And the way that pretty much he figures out the way to like sort of outspeed Hit is by the muscle movement that Hit uses, because when he uses the time skip, part of it, he still has to use some sort of muscle movement in order to move. And what Dispo does is he hears in onto those onto those specific what do you call it? Those specific movements. He hears those specific movements, and then that's when he pretty much chooses the time to strike. And pretty much he was able to get Hit pretty much all the time. Mind you, Kunchi is not with Dispo at the moment. He's with Topo and Jiren, kind of watching the fight, and pretty much they watch it go down. Hit is literally trying any sort of tactic that he can to sort of outspeed Dispo, but it's not really working. So pretty much they start fighting, and Jiren actually kind of notices that, hey, Hit is actually gaining the momentum, or like he's gaining knowledge. He's studying Dispo and like how he works, and pretty much he's kind of like, what do you call it? He's kind of pretty much knowing like, oh yeah, I'm kind of getting the hang of this or whatever. And I mean, kind of does. And actually the funny thing is, a funny thing that happened in the episode is that Champa kind of complains about like, hey, he kind of like that Dispo kind of looks like Beerus, which I mean, we didn't really get an explanation on like what Champa and Beerus's race kind of is. I mean, they are cats, but I mean, to be honest, I thought they were bunnies or like kangaroos at first when I first saw them, but it is confirmed that they are cats. And pretty much Champa is like, hey, look at him, he's like ugly like Beerus, or like he was pretty much making fun of trying to make fun of Dispo. And Vados is kind of like, but Champa, you and Beerus are the same race, so aren't you making fun of yourself too? And Champa's pretty much like, no, I am nothing like Beerus. Like I am like, he like pretty much like trying to one up himself against Beerus, like say that like, you know, he's the cooler brother, he's the more handsomer brother. And yeah, and Champa also kind of he makes a statement saying that like, oh, if he can hear the muscle memory, then we should just make a bunch of noise to kind of distract him or whatever. And Vados once again says that's probably not going to work, because of the fact that, I mean, he pretty much can hear he's listening in for a specific muscle movement, so making a bunch of noise isn't really going to help. And Champa once again is embarrassed, and it pretty much gets to the point where Hit starts to look like he's getting the upper hand, so Kunshi actually comes in with his like spider threads. He's pretty much Blue Spider-Man. He's Guldo Spider-Man, Spider Guldo. I don't know, Spider Guldo. I have no idea what to call him, but he pretty much wraps Hit in his like spider web things, and pretty much it's a 2-on-1 fight at this point, where Hit is by himself and is pretty much in trouble because Kunshi and Dispo are pretty much ganging up on him. Caulifla actually decides like, hey, I think it's best if we jump in, because if Hit's gone, then he's pretty much the strongest warrior, and he's gonna need help. And Kale keeps telling Caulifla like, no, don't do that, because like they're weak, which is, I mean, is a strategy in a way, because I mean, you need to rest up as much as you can, especially with the amount of beatings that they've been taking, or the amount of action that they've been partaking in, especially like Kale with like her berserker mode and how Jiren kind of knocked her out. But anyways, we pretty much see that Hit is pretty much cornered, and pretty much what happens is Goku actually steps in the fight, and he doesn't step in like normal Goku, he steps in as a Super Saiyan God. Now this actually got me really excited, because I know a lot of the times in Toyotaro's manga that he loves the red mode, he loves the Super Saiyan God form, and I'm actually kind of happy to see it back in the anime, because we haven't seen it since the Battle of Gods arc. And pretty much, yeah, so Hit says, tells Goku that he doesn't really need any help, but Goku's pretty much like, no, I'm not trying to help you, I just want to fight, like, honestly. And like the moment that he like pretty much sensed or like saw what was going on, his body kind of like, you know, leaped into action, which is pretty typical of Goku. And pretty much Goku decides to take Dispo on, and he actually switches it up. He switches from the red mode to the blue mode to sort of conserve stamina, and also like to strategize by making himself faster, but also making himself more powerful by switching in between the two. And I actually thought that was pretty smart of him. It's kind of development. I don't know if you would call that development, but it's kind of it's a strategy. It's sort of like developing Goku's like techniques, which I mean, he's always been sort of a guy to sort of think of stuff on the spot and sort of adapt to it in a way. But yeah, and then it gets to the point where Hit is like, hey Goku, Son Goku, let's switch fights. So pretty much Hit goes after Dispo, and he actually kind of fakes Dispo into thinking that he's gonna use the time skip in order to trick him and sort of be able to beat him up. So pretty much Hit is adjusting his speed, his time skip, and like faking his time skip, using his time skip in order to trick Dispo, and pretty much it pretty much ends up in Hit beating Dispo till, I mean, he was going to land outside of the ring, but I mean, Kunshi actually goes to save him. I don't know why, I just like brain farted right there, but Kunshi saves him with the spider webs and is like, hey Dispo, you have to escape. Pretty much he's pretty much telling Dispo to escape, because I mean, Dispo, Jiren, and Toppo are pretty much like the 3 strongest members of the Pride Troopers. But what happens is Kunshi charges at Hit, and Hit actually uses the time skip to get behind Kunshi and knocks him out, leaving Dispo, Jiren, and Toppo to be the last members of Universe 11. And pretty much Dispo does escape, and when he talks to when he talks to Toppo, Toppo pretty much tells him like, there's no, like, forget being good right now, there's only survival or erasure. And pretty much it was kind of a turning point where it's like Toppo really does realize that like they have to really fight for themselves, because I mean, now that it's only the 3 of them, what can they really do? And pretty much we see Goku talking to Hit one last time. He's like, so are we gonna fight right now? And Hit pretty much tells Goku that like, no, we're not gonna fight right now, we'll save our fight for later. And pretty much they walk away from each other, and that is how the episode ends. I thought this episode was really good because it showed a lot of teamwork between 2 universes, not just one, but between Universe 6 and 7. And I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have wanted to see a Hit and Goku team up, because I mean, they're like some of the strongest characters in Super. But yeah, next week we see Master Roshi, and I'm not sure if he's going to be eliminated or not. I kind of, from the way that the episode title seems, he might be the next person to be eliminated. But anyways guys, we are not going to be talking about that. I thought this episode was great. Leave your comments down below on what you how you thought the episode was. My name is SAIYAN. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe for more content. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.